What up guys, I wanted to make a video for PvP for Rogue in Phase 3, so let's dive right into how you should be building your character in PvP. Alright, so first up we can take a look at the gear you're going to want to run. Now there's a few kind of ways you can build your character as you're leveling up or you're gearing up at level 50, so I wanted to give you three main options for how your character should have geared on the way to being BIS. So first up, we're going to have the Emerald set, which if you don't know is from the new Emerald Warden rep grind, which you can do by doing the incursions. Basically, you can get the full set, I believe, by Honored, and they give a pretty good amount of stats, especially for PvP. So you can see here, you'll have around 3,100 health after getting the full set equipped. And then outside of that Emerald tier set, and every other piece will pretty much be set in stone. I think the only piece of gear that you might want to switch out are maybe the belt, the trinket here, the Dark Moon Overgrowth, or the Gurubashi Backstabber. Now, I couldn't actually find Shadowblade on Wowhead, but if you can get Shadowblade, it's probably the best offhand weapon to have for PvP, because if you run combat potency, you're going to want a faster dagger, and then it's a 1.4 speed if you have Shadowblade. So yeah, you definitely want a faster weapon in the offhand, like Julie's dagger or Shadowblade, but because I couldn't find them on Wowhead, I have Gurubashi Backstabber here. But let's go over the gear that you won't be changing. You're going to have the Nomargon Peace Officer's Torque, the Drape of Nightfall, or you can also equip the Filtress Cowl. If you read that, it gives you +3 to stealth, which is going to be very, very good if you're finding a stealth class. But if you're not, then you're going to want to be running Drape of Nightfall for the extra stamina. For the bracers, you're going to want the Engineering Crafting Epic item, which gives you a immunity to fear for 15 seconds, which honestly is completely broken. That is crazy. If you don't have engineering or for whatever reason, you can also run, I believe, the Epic Briss from the Warsound Gulch rep. For the main hand, you're going to want the Degraded Dire Nail. For the offhand, like I talked about earlier, you're going to want Julie's Dagger, or Shadowblade, or maybe even the Gurubashi Backstabber. You in general want a 1.4 speed or something around that very fast dagger, just so that you can proc combat potency if you're running that ruin. But because I couldn't find them on Wowhead, we just put Gurubashi Backstabber right there. For the belts, you're going to either want the Engineering Epic Belt, or you're going to want the Temple Looter's Waistband from the raid. As you can see here, it has a lot of stamina on it and a good amount of AP. Obviously, you can have the Emerald tier set there. And then for the rings, you're going to want the Epic Ring from Nomargon and the Epic Ring from the raid Sunken Temple, which you can see here gives you a lot of stamina and hit and attack power. So really, really good items there. For the trinket slot, you're going to want the Dark Moon card Overgrowth, which I'm not sure how good it is yet. I haven't really played with it, obviously. I don't know if anybody has it as of yet, but the chance of getting 8 energy to me just sounds really, really strong. If you don't have that yet, you can run things like the Breath of the Beast or other Dark Moon cards, or even the Sunken Temple raid trinkets, which give you, as you can see here, let me find it very quickly for you. There it is right there. Gives you 20 more melee damage when you activate it. So there's a lot of options for the trinket slot. Depends on what you get, and we can test out what is best. As of right now, I think probably the Overgrowth trinket will be really awesome. And then obviously for PvP, you're going to want the Insignia of the Alliance. And then for the bow, you're going to want the Rinzo's Rapid Repeater, which has a lot of stamina on it, which is what you want for PvP. But now let's actually talk about the different gear sets and why I think the best gear set is actually the 3-tier set from the raid, along with the Knight Lieutenant's gear. So as you can see here, if you have the full Emerald set, which is going to be what you get first out of everything, because you just get it while grinding your rep and you only need Honored with the new Emerald Warden Reputation grind. And you can see here, it gives you 3,100 HP, 576 attack power, and 19% crit. But if you compare that to the Knight Lieutenant's gear, like the full PvP gear set, you're going to have 200 extra health with the PvP gear set, and also a little bit more AP. So yeah, as you get more geared and you get more honor, you're going to want to change out your Emerald gear set for the full PvP gear set. And then once you've done the raid, you're going to want the Blood Corrupted Tunic, or the Blood Corrupted full set, because as you can see, comparing the PvP gear set to the raid set, You're going to have only slightly less HP, only 50 less HP with the PvE gear set, but you're going to have 0.3% more crit. And on top of that, you're going to have the 3-tier set, which gives you 7 more damage from all sources whenever you use Backstab, which I believe also combos with Mutilate and Sinister Strike. So yeah, this will probably be the best overall gear set here because of that 3 set, which is going to give you a lot more damage for PvP. Yeah, that is going to be the overall gear sets and what I think you're going to be wanting to aim for BIS and PvP. But now let's actually go ahead and talk about the talents, which again is going to be kind of up in the air because there's so many options now for how you want to build it. But in my opinion, this will probably be the best, or what I will be running in PvP. So first, you can take a look at the talents I'm going to have. I think the only things that I'm honestly debating whether I want to grab is maybe grabbing improved ambush, maybe going for improved sprint, maybe even getting improved kick. There's a lot of crazy weird ways you can build yourself in PvP, but for the most overall bang for your buck build, this is what I'm going to be running because I think Relentless Strike and that crit is going to be so freaking useful for PvP, because if you run combat potency, basically you're going to get more energy over and over again from attacking a player, and then on top of that, that's going to allow you to have more mutilates. It means that you're going to have more finishers, and the more finishers will mean that you get to use Relentless Strike for more energy. As you can see, it's like a loop of just getting more and more energy back, which in my opinion is probably going to be the best overall PvP spec. I'm going to show you a couple different talent builds that you could be running, but for right now, for the overall best talent build that I'm going to be running, it's probably this one right here. And for the runes, I'm kind of debating what to do for the wrist rune, but as of right now, I think the best will be combat potency. You can even get honor among thieves, but because combat potency can actually proc from fiery weapon, because fiery weapon can proc your instant poison, which can then proc combat potency. So I actually think combat potency will be the best. Then you're going to want quick draw, or you could even run Deadly Brew. It depends on what you want to run. If you don't really care about, you know, getting those blinds off and you just want to burst people down, which honestly might be the meta right now, just because of freaking how ridiculous burst is. I don't even know if you want to use blind. You just want to kill people. So honestly, instead of quick draw, you can run Deadly Brew. And if you run Deadly Brew, you can run Carnage as well. And all you want to do when you open up on somebody is, instead of using a cheap shot, you can use a Garrote into a Mutilate, Kidney Shot, and in that timing window they might just straight up be dead. If they're not, you can envenom them and all that good stuff. Try to burst them down as quick as you can. Then for the, I think you might want to maybe run Cut to the Chase. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't tested it out yet, but I think overall you're going to want to run Carnage. For the hands, you're going to want to run Mutilate, Shadow Step for the waist. Even Poison Knife can be good as well, but honestly I think Shadow Step is just better than Poison Knife. For the leg slot, you can run either Between the Eyes or Envenom. Honestly, I think because we want to burst people down like I talked about earlier, Envenom will be better. And then last, you're going to want to run Master of Subtlety, or if you use Ambush, or you want to use Mutilate and you want to get that Waylay proc, you can also do that. Honestly though, I think because of how bursty this phase is, I think Master of Subtlety will be probably the best damage you can do, because you want to kill people in an opener, because if you don't, you're probably going to die anyway. But yeah, this is going to be what I'm running in PvP, but now let's actually talk about other builds you can run. Okay, so this will actually be the build I might try out if I'm running Cut to the Chase. So if you don't know, Cut to the Chase basically requires you to have Slice and Dice active, and if you do have it active, then you can use Envenom or Eviscerate to refresh Slice and Dice at its maximum duration. So basically what you'd want to do is maybe pre-med, Slice and Dice, then do the opener. You could do an Ambush if it's a Clothy, or a Cheap Shot if it isn't a Clothy, and then do the normal Kidney Shot and then get those Envenoms out. And then every time you Envenom, you're going to actually refresh the duration of Slice and Dice, which is really important because if you have combat potency, you're going to be getting more of those energy procs because you're going to be attacking more often with Slice and Dice. Now, do I think this is going to be the best build out there? No, but I think it is an actually pretty interesting build to run and a cool way to use pre-med in order to Cut to the Chase. All right, and here we're going to have another cool build that I created, which is going to be getting improved sprint, endurance, improved kick, and then a little bit of crit from dagger specialization. So basically the way the build will work is that you're going to have the utility from improved sprint. That way you can't be kited. And then you also have the utility of kicking casters and then just completely screwing them over by silencing them for 2 seconds, allowing you to just completely obliterate them, hopefully in that 2-second window. So yeah, this is another build which I think I might try out a little bit as well. But like I talked about earlier, not having Relentless Strike is a really big DPS decrease in PvP, or just in general. Relentless Strike is such an overpowered talent that you kind of lose a lot of damage from not having it. But on the other side of it, you're going to have a lot more utility by having improved kick, endurance, and improved sprint. So if you want to try this build out as well, you can go ahead and try it.